United States Government Lesson 7. Federalism. Federalism is a system of government in which the powers are divided between national and state governments. The Constitution is established in a federal system in the 10th Amendment for the United States. Federalism allows and encourages policy variations or differences between the states. The advantage is that it allows local action in matters of local concern and national action in matters of wider concern. Laws vary from state to state because social, political, and economic conditions are somewhat different in different parts of the country. Policy variations among the states. Areas of law that can and will be different from one state to another. Laws can be similar as well. For example, taxes. The sales tax goes from 0 to 8%, and the income tax goes from 0 to 12%. Voting age, registration, and residency varies from state to state. Gun laws. The age to buy a gun in Wisconsin is 18 for rifles and 21 for handguns. Concealed weapon laws vary, and so do the types of firearms people are allowed to purchase. Education, which varies. For instance, the dropout age, which is 18 in Wisconsin, 16 with parent consent in some states. The required courses that you have to take to graduate vary. The length of the year. In Wisconsin, there's 180 days, but it's less in others. Driving laws vary. For age, speed limits, traffic laws, seatbelt laws, headlight laws, blood alcohol content, and open intoxicants. Marriage and divorce laws vary. The age of consent, who can marry, license, blood test, marital property, no-fault divorce, and the waiting period. Alcohol and drug laws vary by age, who can buy cigarettes, where and when drugs can be sold, and what time bars have to close. Punishments and crimes vary. For instance, fines, penalties, and whether the death penalty is used or not. Laws about gambling vary. What types of gambling, if you can gamble at all, where you can and where you can't. For instance, sometimes online gambling is considered illegal and sometimes it's not. Welfare laws about how much, how long, who can receive it. Abortion laws, age, where you can get it, and whether you have to tell your parents or get their permission. Licensing laws about hunting and fishing, car, real estate, cosmetology, daycare, teaching, medical professionals. Division of power. Delegated powers are powers that are granted to the national government. Within that category are expressed, implied, and inherent powers. Expressed powers are powers that are written in the Constitution. Implied powers are powers that are interpreted and expanded upon from the expressed powers. Those that are necessary and proper to carry out. Inherent belong to the national government just because it is the national government. Reserved powers are powers that are kept and held by the states. The local government got their power from the states. Concurrent powers are powers that are shared by both the national and state governments. The Supremacy Clause is in the U.S. Constitution, and it stands above all other forms of law, or it is the supreme law of the land. If a state law conflicts with the federal law wins. Interstate relations. The framers of the Constitution knew that they needed to address the problems and issues facing the divided states. These Constitution provisions were included to promote cooperation between and among the states. We have the Full Faith and Credit Clause. This says that each state must honor one another's public acts, civil laws, records, and court cases. For example, birth certificates, high school diplomas, driver's licenses, marriage licenses, and divorce papers. Extradition is a legal process in which a fugitive from justice in one state is returned to that state from another. We have C, Privileges and Immunity Clause. A resident of one state may not be discriminated against unreasonably by another state. States can make reasonable discriminations, such as out-of-state fees for college tuition, hunting licenses, All citizens of all states must obey the laws of all other states while in those states. Ignorance is not an excuse. And then D. Interstate compacts. Agreements between states over common concerns or needs. For example, highway construction, prisons, police support, and overseeing parolees from other states. Federal control. There's a quote that says, "He who pays the piper calls the tune." Conditions of aid are requirements if states want money. The number of strings tends to increase. For example, drinking age is a state law, but the government said that they would stop paying to fix roads in all states that didn't change their drinking age to 21, so all the states did. Mandates that have nothing to do with federal aid are requirements about civil rights, like the Americans with Disabilities Act, environmental protection, the ocean dumping ban, no child left behind, problems that are hard to interpret, difficult to administer, uncertain costs. And that is everything in, I believe this was lesson number 8.